Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be pulling Sacred Shards for the Summonrush event for the new fusion that's dropped. So we have Emic Trunkheart here, and as you can see, he's a really cool looking champion. I really like the way the sort of parts on the shield move. I think he looks really cool. Not my favourite sort of aesthetic, these Sylvan Watchers, but still a really cool champion. I'm going to go into his kit in a minute, but before so, I want to talk about how this sort of fusion's done. It's not a traditional fusion. So what we have down here is we have 4 of the same epic, Fire gun. So 4 of the same epic, and we're going to pull her by using fragments. So she's a fragment summons, pull her 4 times, and then we're going to fuse her into the legendary, into Emic. So I'll jump into his kit, we can talk about that, and then we'll get into pulling the shard. So on his A1, increases the value of all shield buffs on this champion by 25%. Also increases the value of any shield buffs on any ally with the lowest HP by 25%. The increased value of the shield buff cannot exceed 10,000 HP. So he's going to increase the value of the shield, not increase the duration, but just the value. Really useful and really good in maybe arena or something like that. So you can protect your nuker, so then they get an extra chance to be able to take out the enemy team. On his A2, attacks all enemies, places a shield buff on all allies equal to 30% of this champion's max HP for 2 turns, decreases the cooldown of all ally skills except this champion's by 1 turn. And then on his A3, places an unkillable buff on all allies for 2 turns, also places a taunt buff and a shield buff on this champion for 2 turns. The value of this shield is equal to 30% of this champion's max HP. So what people are really interested in, I guess, what people are excited about is the unkillable buff for 2 turns. I mean, he's not as accessible as another champion like a Helicath or something like that. He's not as useful as Helicath, because Helicath you can make an unkillable team of just 1 champion. That's what makes him really unique, because he has that massive shield on his A2. I think he can then punch through the clan boss A3. And I don't know if this champion's going to be able to do the same thing, because it's not based off of his damage, it's based off his HP. But he is a HP champion, so his damage is coming from HP, but it's just not quite the same as Helicath is. But still, he's going to be a useful champion to a lot of people to create an unkillable team. He's also got the taunt, which is good for the Shogun dungeon, which I haven't actually jumped into yet. I haven't done much time in the Shogun dungeon, but he's used for the bruise needed to ascend your accessories. So he is someone that I'll be jumping into eventually. I'm just waiting for sort of the raid big brains to come out and come up with a comp that I can actually build, not just all-out damage and a crazy team with crazy unaccessible champions. So that's Emic's kit. I guess on his passive, he has, when attacked while under a shield buff, has a 50% chance of increasing the cooldown of a random skill on the attacker by 2 turns. Occurs once per attack. Whenever the ally HP drops below 20%, increases the damage dealt by that ally by 20%. So again, it's just another one for your sort of arena nukers or something like that to be able to really pump out their damage and really get them going and taking out the enemy. I don't see this skill being very useful in dungeon content for bosses or anything like that, but it'll be definitely good for waves and arena. So that's Emic's kit. I think he's a really good champion. I think he's actually going to be useful on my account, even if I've already got a 1-key Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss team. I think he might be quite good in Hydra, and I think he's going to be good for the Shogun, which is, as I said before, a dungeon that I need to get into. So I'm going for him, as I do with every fusion and fragment. And I think the likelihood is eventually we're going to get some people that come out with really good team compositions with this guy. And he's definitely going to be able to replace some of my champions, or one of my champions. I think I've got Warcaster in my goodluck Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss team. And because Warcaster can only do unkillable for 1 turn, he makes it hard for me to get other champions in the mix. So I've got Ninja on my other account, but I use 2 Helicaths to make that unkillable. And because of the 2-turn unkillable on Helicath, Ninja can then use his turn meter increase on his A1 whenever he wants, and the comp still stays unkillable. Whereas with Warcaster, because it's only a 1-turn unkillable, Ninja, I can't use him in that team. So I'm going to use this guy. I'm going to use him in my unkillable team on my goodluck account, and I think he's going to increase my damage quite a lot for Ultra Nightmare. I am already 1 keying on both of my accounts, but more damage is always better. That's that's what we like to see. So I'll just show you guys the progress I've done on my accounts on the Fusion so far. So I've already got 1 lot of fragments available for the epic, and I'm already jumping into the second lot with 125 fragments. I'm going to save pulling her until the champion chase next weekend, so I can get some extra points on that. In this Fusion, there is 3 summoning events, which isn't necessarily usual, so it's going to make it a bit harder. If you don't have Ultra Nightmare Crown Boss unlocked, then it's going to make it harder to sort of hoard the shards that you need to be able to do 3 in a row. So I'm saving her, I'm saving my shards. If I save her and pull her as much as I can once the champion chase starts, I'm going to get extra points, which means I don't need to pull as many shards. My advice is it's going to be an ancient shard pool next weekend, times 2 ancients. My advice is pull enough that you need to be able to complete the champion chase, and then don't pull any more, because we don't know what the summoning rush is going to be like the weekend after. So definitely, my advice is hoard your shards as much as you can, only use what's necessary. And in the background, since the Fusion started, I've just been going through all of the different events and tournaments, and I've just been pumping out where I can. I've just realised on my other account, on my goodluck account, I haven't actually done the Champion Chase tournament. Luckily, we've still got some time on it, and I nearly lost out on 25 fragments because I thought I had done it on both accounts, and I hadn't really checked, to be honest. But as you can see, I'm making good progress. I've already completed most of the tournaments, most of the events so far. They're all pretty easy ones, I would say. The hardest one is the Dungeon Divers event, but I have enough resources saved up that I can just pump out Dragon, because we've got the Dragon tournament on at the moment. I can just pump out Dragon and get the Dungeon Divers done. But the main focus today is pulling shards, because this Summon Rush is the one I haven't done yet. I've been waiting all weekend to do it. I really wanted to do it on Friday, but I just haven't had time, so I've had to wait till today. So let's get into pulling some shards. And what I'm going to do, I'll just jump back into the Summon Rush. So we need 3,000 points to be able to get the fragments for this champion. So I'm going to pull 6, I think it is. Yeah, 500 points for each Sacred Shard. So I'm going to pull 6 Sacreds on each account. Getting any other legendary is going to make my day, because I'm getting legendaries by working towards getting a guaranteed legendary. And getting the epic for the Fusion, the fire gun or whatever her name is, getting her out of one of these pools is going to make my life easier. So a legendary or her, that's going to make me a happy boy. We're going to pull 6 on each account. And before we get into pulling shards, guys, if you enjoy my content and want to see more of it, please like this video and subscribe to my page. I've got around 85 subscribers at the moment, and the big milestone that I'm really aiming for is 100 subscribers. With 100, I know that I'm making good content that people enjoy, and it shows me that people want more of it. So yeah, if you like my content, like the video, subscribe to my page. Let's get into pulling shards, and we'll start off with shard number 1. So any legendary, but I will absolutely take a Brogni. He's going to transform my account if I get Brogni. So an epic out the gate. Dur, the Hungerer, not interested, not really interested in epics unless it's the one for the Fusion. On to the next one. If I put a legendary, we'll go into their kit, we'll see what they're about. If it's a dupe, we'll even go into the kit. Seneschal, not a champion I'm going to look into. I've done Faction Wars. I don't need Faction Wars champions, though he is good for Faction Wars if you're struggling with it. Exactly the same with Caden. He's a really good champion for Faction Wars, but not a champion I necessarily am going to build out anytime soon. Unless I find some really niche content that he's useful in, I'm not going to build him. Another epic, Tarshon. Again, actually a really good champion. I've seen Hell Hades use him on his free-to-play accounts. And yeah, a really good champion, but not a champion I've ever built out. Not a champion I need. On to the next one. A legendary, a Brogni. It's another epic. Lockwayne. Lockwayne. I don't know anything about Lockwayne. Let's see what he is. So he's an attack-based champion. He has 30% chance to steal a buff. He can remove Veil and Perfect Veil, so he's a good counter for Duchess, and he ignores shield. So he's an all-out nuker, and he can remove Veil, which is actually quite a good skill to have. I think he's probably an all-right champion. Let me go and check my points. I actually haven't kept track of how many shards I've pulled yet. So we need to pull... How many do we need to pull? One more shard. One more shard. A legendary. A Brogni. Let's go. It's another epic. All epic. 6 epics in a row. That is so sad. And not even the epic that I want for the fusion. Old Hermit Jorg. Not interested. Not going to build them out. Let's go and pull all of these rewards. And then we'll go onto my other account. We'll do the same thing over there. And hopefully we have better luck. I'm not going to pull the energy. Always keep your energy for when you need it. There's the shards. 25 fragments. So I think I've got on this account 150 fragments there, which means, you know, I'm nearly 50% of the way there. 150, there we go. And what I'll do, guys, I'll log into my other account. We'll do exactly the same over there. And here we are, guys, onto the Goodluck account. I'll just show you the champion training tournament. I don't know how I missed it. I must have just got a bit carried away with all the other tournaments and sort of grinding out Dragon for the dungeon divers. But yeah, I've still got quite a lot of work to do in the champion training. Luckily, we've still got 2 days to do it. So I'm probably just going to spend the afternoon doing that, making sure that I get all those fragments. But that means I've only got 100 fragments for the epic on this one. And hopefully by the end of this shard pool, I'll have 125. And then again, 150, just like the other account with the champion training. So let's just jump straight into it. I've got 13 shards. I'm only going to pull 6. I've only got enough room to pull 6. So I'm going to stick to that. Any legendary. I mean, out of 6 sacreds, I half expect a legendary. I might be, you know, I might be wishing for too much there, but that's what I expect. Lich, not a good champion. Not a champion I'm going to build. I mean, in Fire Knight, he's really hard to take down, but not a champion I'm going to build. I don't know how to say her name. This demon spawn is not a champion. Again, not a champion I'm going to build. On to the next one. I'm only interested in legendaries or the epic for the fusion. Not interested in anything else. Gizcard the Sigilled. No, thank you. A legendary. I mean, in theory, I'm pulling 12 sacreds. I would expect out of 12 sacreds to have at least 1 legendary. Sir Archmage, no thank you. Not interested in you. On to the next one. God, this is awful. No luck whatsoever today. A Durang. Is this the last one? This might be the last one. Another epic. Not a good one. Philija? I don't know how to say that. And that's the last one, guys. So no legendaries in that. Not even the epic that I need for the fusion. I'll go and pick up the rewards for doing that summon event, summon rush. And we won't pick up the energy. Always save the energy until you need it. And there we go, guys. 125 fragments. I'm going to spend the afternoon doing the champion training. And hopefully then we'll be up to date on both of my accounts. I try and keep them as up to date as possible, as sort of near each other as possible. So if you're interested in this fusion, guys, I definitely think go for it. If you don't have an unkillable team, definitely go for it. He's going to be a really good champion. Don't listen to what other people are saying necessarily, because some people are doubting it a bit. I think he's going to be a really good champion, a really useful champion, especially if you don't have an unkillable clan boss team as just a sort of first resort to doing clan boss. So yeah, absolutely do him. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.